We are live. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. We are now also broadcasting on YouTube. At least I want to test it out. So hello YouTubers as well. Welcome, welcome. I wonder if I have to, just in case. Okay. I just want to refresh the scene that has the chat in case that needed to be updated, because I know I had to update the cache before for that. Okay, so... Right, so today we are working on Chapter 4 Monsters. Last time I worked on a boss, the final boss for Chapter 3. We're going to finish that up today. And then we're going to start work on some more Chapter 4 monster stuff. Yay! So that's exciting. Cool. So we're going to get started with that. There were two balance fixes I wanted to adjust here for the Ghost of the Pirate Captain boss. The very first one is the Ghost Sabers and how they spawn. So if we look... here, when the boss gets hit from hiding, during the hiding phase, it's going to create Ghost Sabers in two directions, separated by either... it's either going to rotate one way or the other way. They kind of alternate. So there's a point in the rotation where they end up intersecting, and that part makes it almost impossible to avoid. So I think what we're going to do here is the Ghost Saber distance, or the final Ghost Saber separation amount, is going to be adjusted so that they aren't as tight, making it a little easier to avoid. And I think we're going to slow down the rotation a little bit, just to make it so they rotate, well, not as quickly, at least on the outside, so it gives the ranged players a chance. But it does punish ranged players pretty hard. Maybe that's intentional, maybe not. Range tends to be pretty powerful, right? So instead of 24 pixels, we're gonna go with 32 pixels of separation. And we're also going to need to adjust... excuse me for a minute. We're also going to figure out about these cannons. The cannons, we have a bit of an issue. They don't quite work, at least the way I intended them to. I did perform a unit test recently. The game unit tests are succeeding, I'm happy to report. If they didn't, we definitely would have problems and would have to resolve them, of course. So I'm going to rebuild my project now. And then from there... we'll see what happens. Okay. Also, I am recovering from a cold, so unfortunately I caught the sniffles. So you might hear me sniffle a bit, unfortunately. I apologize in advance. But I'm at the tail end of it, so I should be getting better. So we need to see if... did I make it so... okay. So I still made it so it goes to the final phase right away. So we can see these guys are a little bit more slower, although it looks like they are spawning way faster than I anticipated, which is interesting. So we gotta fix that now. We do hate colds. Also, welcome Adrienne. Good to see you. Yeah. Just recovering from one, so... I definitely couldn't stream yesterday, that's for sure. Also, this keeps popping up yet again. Walking around campus. Oh. How's the course life? The college life? Hang in there, buddy. You'll get through it. Step by step, little by little. So these spawn more frequently than they need to be doing. I wonder why they are spawning more often than they should. I almost want to say that these are not supposed to spawn multiple times. Something happened. It seems like we lost the set strategy on hit function call elsewhere in here. There were supposed to be 2 of these. Oh, there is. It's on normal, which doesn't happen after... It needs to be in normal and final. Oops. Because once we're in final, we should be good. We shouldn't... So every time I was hitting the boss, it was spawning more sabers. So that was the issue. You wish coursework was easier? Aw. Alright, trying this again. It's weird that my multi-shot was on cooldown. That must have been by accident. Oh, thank you. Okay. I think that is very fair, but also I think we need to add more. They should continue spinning, or they should reappear or something. Let me see. So the idea is they spin around. Actually, we should pull up the original design doc for this, because they should be just as much the same thing as before. Let me see. Should make it so you can never pause? No, that's mean. Let's not do that. God. Rude? Ghost Captain. Might be chapter 4 final boss? Funny enough, the file is not in here. I probably just have it. Okay, hold on. I probably just have it in my file system, but I never added it to the project. So assets? It would be under here, or it would be under maybe here? Yeah, there's a, oh, it's a chapter 3 final boss, not chapter 4. That explains it. So once found on the 10% hide and seek, spawns a cage around the pirate treasure and spreads the curse on the player once again. If the player didn't cleanse the curse before finding the captain, it now just stays up. Both kind of cannon attacks happen all the time now. 10 ghost sabers spawn and circle around the boss in different directions. The boss stands still in the middle. Okay. So it sounds like that description to me means these are supposed to last forever, which sounds right. I don't think they're supposed to expire. So let's see what lifetime gets set to here in the constructor. It's probably in the config as well. Hello? Ghost Saber. There it is. So the constructor sets the lifetime to... It says the alive time to lifetime. I feel like the lifetime should be infinite. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't be. So let's make it infinite. So back here, instead of Ghost Saber lifetime being a config, well, let's leave it. How about... Oh, I see. It uses a previous variable we made. So... we'll just say the final Ghost Saber lifetime, it's going to be hard-coded with infinite duration. I don't think there's a reason to not make it infinite, according to the spec. But I like the speed of them now. That speed feels a lot better. So I'm happy with that. Okay. Thanks, Adrian. Nice to see you. Take care, bye. Alright, so these sabers should last basically forever, and you have to weave through them, essentially. It's It's a bit nerve-wracking to constantly do that, huh? God. But once you find a safe spot, I think you're okay. And in fact, you don't even get hit when it seems like it's clearly supposed to hit you. Do they not hurt me anymore? Oh, they do. Do they only hurt me once? Oh, once they hit me, they don't reset. So they need like a hit cooldown, and then once that hit cooldown runs out, they can hit you again. Alright. So how about this? Player hit applies an iframe. Why don't we make it a bit longer? Like, let's do 0.4 seconds. I think that's fair. And then it should be able to just hit you again. We can keep it alive, but it's not considered dead. I don't know how we hit this bullet. Let me look at the bullet's header. There should be something for it. Bullet tape? Bullet. Okay. Yeah, there is an interface just for bullet. Okay, hits multiple. So hits multiple should be true, actually. Otherwise, it expires. So we'll make sure to apply that for the Ghost Saber. Hits multiple. I think it's in here. That's rotates with angle. Hits multiple. Default is false. We're gonna set that to true. Okay. And now it does hit multiple. One good coding practice that I didn't implement when I first made these bullets, the bullet constructor, is instead of using booleans, use named like enums to represent true or false. If you use some names to represent true or false, then it might say like hits underscore multiple or hits underscore single. And then you would be able to easily find it and change it versus what does this true mean? What does this false mean? It's a good coding practice to implement, especially if you are going to have a lot of booleans in your constructors, and at a glance you need to know what those represent. So now the Ghost Sabers can hit multiple times. I still don't like the idea of them rotating as fast as they do on the outsides, so maybe we'll nerf that a little bit. That might put them out of phase and make it more interesting, I think, to look at that attack. So instead of the rotation multiplier being strictly a function of whether or not, of I should say, let's make it only half as strong. So by reducing this to 0.5 degrees, or sorry, 0.5 its normal rotation velocity, it's now only rotating half a degree as fast per second, per frame. Game runs at 60 FPS, so this is going to be roughly 30 degrees per second instead. Although that still puts it at a point where they're all going to rotate the same speed, I think. Because that's not necessarily... No, it'll be half as much. This might work. Let's see. Why does that keep happening? I don't want a screenshot, please. Okay. So yeah, we still have the code in where it immediately goes to the final phase when we take out 2% of its health. That way we don't have to go through the whole fight just to test the final phase. Oh. It looks like it's now multiplied by 0 or something. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's an int. Shucks. Let's make it a float. Oh. Hi, Plasticky! Hi there. Welcome to the stream. Yes, yes. Show off the heart clips, girl. You know you love them. They're really cute. They're super cute. You like? Okay. So let that happen. I would also like to note that during the hiding phase, the cannons work just fine, so the cannons not working is more of a matter of, okay, they're just slower now. I think what I wanted to do is instead of incrementing by I, increment by like I divided by 2. That way each one itself will increment less. I feel like that accomplishes almost the same thing though. Let me think about that for a minute. It's like we have to do it based on a function of I. So as they get further away, the rotation multiplier decreases. So we can do like divided by, it'll kind of be logarithmic, so it will flatten out. I think we can do like the square root would be my first instinct. So if we do the square root of rotation mult, as it increases, the division will get larger, but not exponentially larger. So it will look something like, first the rotation multiplier will be 1, and the square root of 1 is 1. So, but then the square root of 2 is like 1.4. So, square root of 3, it divides a little larger each time until, well, we hit the max, right? There we go. Alright, so hopefully the outer Ghost Sabers go a little slower than the inner ones, in the sense that we're not just constantly increasing their speed. I still don't know why that keeps happening. So much so that it just completely is unavoidable. Because they should at least be semi-avoidable. We don't want to make it harder for ranged players because they have an inherent advantage, but at the same time, it needs to be possible. So let's see. We'll probably just have to tweak this number now until we end up in a good spot. So it looks like that doesn't actually affect it, surprisingly. Actually, one whole set of them is not even here? Or they're stacked on each other, maybe. Are they stacked on each other? No, they're not. Get bonked. So this should be how fast they're rotating. And rotation multiplier is based off of I, which... Oh, it actually doesn't... Okay, so we have to multiply the rotation multiplier by I. That's the assumption here. So multiply by I. Well, now it's like, okay, the rotation speed... Oh, so we don't even need the rotation multiplier, we just do the square root. I think that's what we're just dividing by the square root here. The only reason we need the multiplier is for determining which direction to rotate. So direction to rotate, divide by the square root, should give us a rotation speed, the square root of I. That's what we have to do. Divide by the square root of I. Okay, now I think we get the effect we want. I still don't know why half of them didn't go the other direction, though. That's another mystery. Square root always returns positive. Or, if it's negative, it returns an imaginary number. Oh, that's it! Negative square root returns imaginary numbers. But now I won't ever be negative. So we're good now. Because we can do -1 divided by whatever. Yes. But a negative square root is an invalid operation, at least in the real numbers. Yes, imaginary numbers. Also, hi Moros. I have no idea what this does with imaginary numbers, but I assume it's just gonna say, like, it's an invalid float or something. Welcome. Okay. Where is this silly guy? Alright. Okay. I like this much better. What I wanted to do, though, was make it so, for For the ones that are further back here, probably make it a little more dense, I guess is the word. So after the first 5, maybe we spawn 2 more on the opposite sides or going different directions. That would be interesting, I think. Yeah, let's try that. So square root was definitely the play. So I think if I is greater than or equal to the number of sabers divided by 2, we're going to create 2 of them. So we'll create a second one that just goes the opposite direction. So exact same code, but opposite. And maybe mess with this a little bit. Maybe add a random amount, plus or minus 1. I think that would be fun. Just to add some variation. So let's add a random range. Hello? Is it not util? I'm pretty sure it was util. Or did I call it utils? Or do I not have utils loaded? I do. It just doesn't want to pop up, but I'm pretty sure it's called random range. And I want between 1 and whatever I is. I think that would be fun. And I want to do negative rotation multiplier. Okay. I like that. Oh, there was just an error, that's why. Compiler was mad about something else. And then we get to debug the whole canon phase that's not working, but works in every other section of the code. Darn IntelliSense. God. Can't you just work? Okay. We still have to make that coin not appear either. That should not be happening. That's easy enough to do though. That's just a boolean. Assuming the boolean works, unlike last time. We had a boolean that was 204 or something. Which definitely evaluates to true. It's a little too true. Okay. Alright. I like this more. Feels a little more dense. Okay. Good. Yes. Oh. Yeah. I like that. That's more my intention. Okay. We will cure hunger. World hunger, finally. The programmers will figure it out. If only we can get IntelliSense to work. There are lives at stake. Alright. So, I'm trying to think of any reason why this would not run more than one single time in the final phase. Compared to every other phase, the most obvious thing is we don't use a cannon shot delay, but we use final cannon timer instead. That's like the big thing. The biggest difference. So, are we making the assumption up here that the lambda is wrong? So, attribute cannon timer. Interestingly enough, this is not... hold on. How does it determine... So it's setting cannon timer to 0. This increases by FE elapsed time. Final cannon timer. These cannon phases are what's, I think, messing it up. Because we call advanced cannon phase, which is supposed to increment it by 1. Right? Yes. The phase count, where does that come from? Is that just up here? Yeah, it's a static const value. I would like some world peace. That'd be nice, right? Saves a lot of us trouble. Okay. Oh, you funny you. Congratulations. You win the internet today. So this line is supposed to increment the cannon phase by 1. I think this is what we're first interested in. I think I'm gonna rebuild in debug. Gonna need some help because there's a lot of things here that don't Like, it's the same code running throughout the entire AI, so there should not have been much that changed going from initial phase to normal phase to final phase. There's almost nothing different, so if it's acting different, then we've clearly missed something important. It's time to figure out what is actually going on, because this problem has existed since I've started looking at this branch. Because I finally want to be done with this thing and we can commit it. And move on to other things. Okay. So let's get to final phase real quick. Then let's get out of hiding, and then we should be able to trigger a breakpoint. Alright, Maras. Hope you make some good food. We'll see you around. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye. Oh, you're already doing this. Okay, cool. So, we want to be here. I think that's what we're first interested in. Every time a new... Okay. Every time a new canon phase starts, we end up in here. So the previous canon phase was set to be 7. Very fair. And then we're setting it to whatever it is, +1. Modulus the phase count. It looks like for the phase count, I have to actually write it here because it's static and won't pop up on its own. So this is Monster Strategy, Ghost of Pirate Captain, phase count. That's a lot to type. Really? Oh, it's a function. The function has the, you know, the static in it. Can I not just view it right now then? It's static to this function. Unless I have to do this, which I don't think is right. Too few arguments in function call. Okay, it's trying to evaluate it, which is also not right. I think I just do phase count, like locally it exists? No. Okay, that's fascinating. Not that it should change or anything, but that is fascinating. Anyways, we can't see it right now, for whatever reason. But let's take a look at what canon phase is. We have to do one of these again. It's gonna be get int attribute canon phase. And we have to remember these don't refresh on their own because they are standard any's, I think. So it does say 7. Again, sorry. Recovering from sickness sucks. Okay. So what this is doing is it's about to increment this. So let's assume it has. Let's refresh this. So now canon phase is 8. So all this line is supposed to do is if we get past it, then we reset the cannon shock count to 0. Otherwise, the cannon shock count continues to go up. So obviously that hasn't happened, so the cannon phase is on the next one. So when the cannon shock count gets reset, let's see what that's supposed to do in terms of all this. How does the cannon shock count get used in general? So it looks like depending on the shot type, that really determines what's going on with how it shoots. But that's it. It's just a counter. Or, okay, we're shooting in this way or that way. But it's supposed to continue to run. So the cannon timer... Let's look at cannon shot delay. Maybe I messed this up. Here. Oh, it's 0.4 seconds. So this is not equal to whatever the cannon shot every 5 seconds is. That's not this. So it's supposed to be like every 5 seconds one of these runs, but at the same time, why is it... Let me see. Why is it worded like that? And more importantly, why is it... What is the delay on the first one? Because I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, if it's just like back to back, how do we determine if it's a 5-second delay? We must have to count the shots. Okay, so both kind of cannon attacks happen at all times now. Does that part even happen? Oh. I see. And then the final cannon timer is supposed to reset when? Ugh. Goodness. See, this isn't even like the same as what it was before. This is entirely different code. The shrapnel shot fall timer, and then the count. Okay, I see. And then the cannon timer is supposed to be set again to, right now it's random. Is it really every 0.5 seconds, or is it supposed to be... I don't think that's correct. I think it's oh, okay. It's just randomness. I see now. We just add some little randomness. That makes sense. So this is good. This is good. So the issue is we need a final cannon shot timer or delay here. I'm gonna say final cannon shot delay. So I basically just messed up by plugging in a wrong value, probably due to haste. Also, since it's the final section, is it fair to go a little faster? I think it is. We basically go all out in the last 10% of the boss. And let's go ahead and run that. We'll run in debug first, make sure everything's good, and then we should be all set. I think that fixes every problem we've been running into. Mostly. Yeah, debug takes a while. Come on. There we go. Okay. Goodness. Alright. So we're gonna force the final phase on the boss, and then we actually start it here. Funny enough, all those sabers actually move with the boss if the boss gets hit by one of these, like, cannon bullets. God, that's actually chaos. It's actually chaos. I may just have to nerf that. I don't know if that's a very viable difficulty. That's a lot. Like, you can't actually really avoid it now. Maybe it does have to stay at 0.4 seconds. Let's take a look one more time. God, that is actually chaos. Okay. So, I think the cannonballs have to be nerfed for the final area. For the final phase. Probably like... Also, I'm gonna change this to be shrapnel shot timer. The final shrapnel timer. Let's do one bullet every half a second. And see how that goes. I was just tweaking and balancing. What values make sense, what values do not. Does it feel too easy, too hard? We want to challenge the player. Make them use up their consumables and their abilities to dodge. But we also want it to be challenging. It's hard to figure that out. That just requires a lot of playtesting and experimentation. And mind you, this is supposed to be the final part of the boss fight. You still got a good, like, 30 or 40 seconds of fight left, assuming you can deal a decent amount of damage. If you can't deal good damage, the fight's gonna last even longer than that, and you have to survive that for more than a minute, presumably. Alright. So this feels pretty good. If we get too far away, the auto-targeting doesn't work anymore, which makes sense. And you're also losing a lot of health at this point, just in general, due to the constant curse, so... Do I not get hurt by this anymore? I'm trying to get hurt by this blade right here. I don't think I'm getting hurt by it. Yeah, I'm not. It's not resetting. It must have a per target table. I think I forgot about this when I first implemented this. While the Ghost Saber can hit multiple things, you need to reset the hit list each time. So, modify outgoing damage data. Let's see. I don't know if this contains anything interesting. Hurt flags, damage rule. I think the only thing we want to do is on hit, set the hit list, or clear the hit list each time. I think the hit list is applied after this. Well, let's take a quick look. Player hit. I think that would be in here where the bullet actually collides. Update bullets. We call bullet update. Bullet update. If hit list find, hit list insert, call monster hit or player hit after. So we want to clear the hit list and keep hitting same target repeatedly. I think that's why I want to give the iframe timer a bit more time. At least that way we can't possibly be hit by the same bullet over and over. I feel like we've reached a good level of difficulty. Not too crazy, but still chaotic. Which is what we want. Something in between. I have a slight fever. Might take a Tylenol just to calm it a little bit. Yeah, still recovering from sickness, so unfortunately, it just kind of sucks right now. I don't feel terrible, but I would like to not feel like this. But I had enough energy to code today. Yesterday I had like no energy whatsoever to even try to attempt to put some code together. So... Ow. So it looks like I can get hit by the same one again. I'm trying not to get hit by it though. No! I don't know if it's still too hard. Maybe I want to slow them down a bit more. That way you can at least like kind of run away from them. I think that would make it more fair, right? Like when it's just one, it's fine, but when it's multiple, it's like, well, I have to like navigate between stuff. There's so much going on. I think it's still a little too difficult considering you're also losing health every second. Just a little bit. For having to survive for like an extra minute like this, and with how much damage the sabers do, I have more health than the typical player is supposed to have at this level. So they're not gonna be able to survive like this. Even with better armor upgrades, which presumably they will have, of course, but yeah, it's just... it's a bit much. So... it does cause the player to move around constantly, which is a good thing. No. Yeah, it's just really hard to survive right now. So, making the Ghost Sabers a bit slower would be nice. So right now we have no variable for the rotation multiplier. So we're gonna add one in. That way we have control over it in the config file in case my game designer wants to tweak it later. I'm also going to remove these debugging lines. We don't need them anymore. They were there when I was first making the prediction shot type. It would try to predict where the player was going and basically force them to go in another direction by measuring how fast the player was walking and where the bullet was going to be in a few seconds. Here's one more. Okay, so for the Ghost Saber, let's add in... oh, it should be right here. Ghost Saber rotation speed. It's just we don't have one for the final set versus the initial one. So the final Ghost Saber one should have its own rotation speed. So instead of 140 degrees per second, let's do like 60 I basically want to have the speed, almost, so let's do like 75. I think that's a good amount to leave off at. So this is now referring to the final Ghost Saber rotation speed variable instead. And then with that, I'm ready to finally commit this with a boss fight that is hopefully fun. Actually, we should do the whole boss fight now, shall we? So the original values of this curse, the curse thresholds, were, let me see, 70%, 40%, 10%. Okay, and that's just a configuration change, so no recompiling required, which is also nice when we're tweaking for balancing as well. Just makes it so we don't have to adjust. Basically, I, the developer, doesn't have to recompile the game just for my game designer, who gets to tweak the values for balance. He doesn't have to wait for me to recompile the code just to figure out if what he envisioned or wanted would actually work. He can just modify the values and try it out in game. Which is great, of course. So we're gonna do this entire boss fight. It will be a little faster than it would be normally at this level. Most players at this level are expected to deal around 250 to 300 DPS. So we can expect that this fight will be twice as fast as it will be for most players, at least the first few times. And once you've acquired stronger gear, of course, that's when the fights become a lot faster. You can start really farming the bosses because the time it takes is not horrendous. But yeah, for ranged, all we have to do really is kite this boss and avoid the cannonballs. So it doesn't really get involved until the final phase. So after the boss throws another coin, the final phase will begin. And he will only have 10% health left, so at that point, it becomes a matter of, can you survive the final onslaught? Okay, so we can see they are much slower, so easier to avoid. But with how much is going on with the cannon shots, this is probably fine. So you can see the fight is done. He already died. The Ghost Sabers do remain, so I want to kill them off when the boss is defeated. Like, he just lies there, ghostly floating. I kind of like that. I think we'll keep it. But yeah, that's gonna be how the fight goes. And then of course he'll drop like an item, or you'll be rewarded with an item when you leave. I don't know why the spawn area has not appeared. It should have appeared. Oh, it's because the Ghost Sabers, I think, count... Oh no, the Pirate Treasure counts as a monster. Oh, so it's... Look, it's down here. That's not the boss. What? Hold on. Why is it down here? Well, that's not right. Also, we didn't get any loot. I don't know if the ring... Does the ring not exist yet? Hold on. Something... Guess we never got to the point where we got to test the actual end of the fight. But let's take a look at the items. Accessories. So... I think it's this. Captain's Diamond Ring is supposed to be a drop, a stage drop. So if I go to levels, it should be a stage loot. Or no, it might be, it's supposed to be a monster loot. I think bosses are supposed to drop them directly. Would it be cool... Okay, hold on. Would it be cool to make it so, on death, the boss floats towards the treasure chest and the pirate's treasure has the reward? I think that would be funny. I think that would be interesting, or fun. Let's do it that way. Although, I would have to... Let's see. So the way this will work is we check the distance from the player to the treasure chest. When they get close, it, I guess it can die. It'll, like, open up, and then the ring pops out. It'll just, like, spawn, and then you can grab it, and then leave. I think that's the way to do it. I think the way we would code this is under the Pirate's Treasure strategy code, we add in an argument that says what item it's going to drop. So reward item equals, and we provide the string name. So we provide Captain's Diamond Ring, and that's going to be what drops from there. We'll read that string in to determine what item to drop. And we're just going to make a comment here that says, note, the pirate will float over to the pirate's treasure after the fight and reward the ring through it. Modify the drop in the pirate's treasure monster strategy. We should make it an array in case Quapsel wants to add multiple drops in the future. Can be a comma separated list for multiple drops. So we're gonna make a string array out of it, and then under Pirate's Treasure, God, it's hot. I need to turn on the air conditioning. It's actually starting to sweat. God dang. Okay. So let's go to the Pirate's Treasure AI, and basically we're going to check if the Ghost of Pirate Captain is dead. So interestingly, I don't think the locked phase stays. Either I'm missing something or it's not right. So I think what I did, at least I hope I did, was when I made the locked phase, I forgot to update the sprites. Yeah, so we have locked and open, and I think we forgot to make it so open. We have locked. We're supposed to use the locked phase animation as well. I feel like it's missing here, and I'm not sure why I removed it. So where are we? I am lost. Goodness. Okay, so we go ahead and we set the Pirate's Treasure to locked. You cannot deposit the Pirate's Treasure anymore. It appears we deleted the perform animation for this. I want to look at the changes for this file, because I think we deleted it at some point. Interesting. It doesn't actually go to the locked state. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we deleted it. By accident, probably. So, lock, and then locked phase, we're supposed to be performing the locked animation. That has the treasure box with the square over it. And then if the boss dies, we go to, I guess, reward? Or I guess we could stay in the locked phase, right? So, let's take a quick look at the Pirate Treasure graphics. So I think what we can do is for the reward one, we can display some like little shimmer or something here, just like a little light. I think that would be nice, a nice touch to end it. So this is 36 pixels, so let's do 180. Okay. Let's just do something a little transparent. I think we'll be happy with that. Kind of like, I'm thinking maybe like this is what I initially envisioned. Maybe more this way. Maybe something like that. Maybe add a little lighter color here. Or maybe it gets lighter up here. It's supposed to get lighter and like fade out. Okay. So that's what I'm thinking. We're drawing with transparent pixels here, so it's gonna be kind of weird. Okay. I'm drawing in the wrong color because I chose a color not in the palette. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's something like... maybe the glow is just like this, right? A little bit more circular coming out of it. I think that makes more sense. Yeah. Probably more what I'm going for here. Something like that. And we could even throw in some little sparklies out on the side. That's fine. I think overall we have what we want, effect-wise. Cool. I think that will be just fine. Maybe it also, like, glows a little, or it's rendered with a different color. So maybe this will actually be brighter. More saturated? Yeah. I think that'll make it be like, oh, now it's clear that something happened here. It's now a really bright color. I kind of like that. We'll go with that one. Cool. Alright. And once again, it's going to be the reward animation. So we're going to keep an eye on the monster list. So we want to grab the monster list, filter out anybody that is a boss, because the pirate's treasure is not a boss. So let's just do this. Auto. Or we can do a for loop. I assume it'll be a monster reference, but might be a pointer. Monster in game. It's a monster list. Monsters? Why do we not have access to monster list? Maybe it's in, oh, I think it's an include, actually. Like a macro include. There it is. Yeah, so it's a... interestingly enough, it's just monster list exposed out here, and it does return shared pointers. So we're going to filter this. I think all we have to do here is do standard ranges filter. We do have to include it though. Let's stop the game for now. So this is a little more modern C++. The ranges library is C++ 20, I believe. So it's a bit new, but it allows us to take a list of stuff and filter it with whatever we're interested in. Oh, I must have done the wrong thing. Hold on. Standard views filter. I think it's still under the ranges library. I could be wrong. Oh, maybe not. So views, basically we create what's called a range view, followed by the filter. Yeah, it's under ranges. I figured as much. Okay. And then we include a lambda. The lambda is what we're going to filter it by. We include the monster itself. Goodness. I'm dying out here. And we're just returning if monster is boss. Oh, we don't have a boss? We don't have a boss function. I believe we have like an isBoss flag, but it's not exposed apparently. Okay. So basically our code is going to say, are all bosses dead? Bool, is boss dead? Default is false. Actually, default is true. We iterate through them all and find the false one. So, if not monster is dead, or excuse me, if monster is dead, no. Let's use the reverse logic. If monster is alive, because not can get confusing to just at a glance look and decide what you're trying to deduce. So set isBossDead to false. And we don't have to check anything else, so this is a good opportunity to just break out of the loop. And then say if isBossDead, then the next thing we're going to do is measure the distance to the player. And when the player gets close... Oh, first of all, we're going to perform the animation of reward. Or no, we're going to perform a idle animation, and when you get close, it changes to reward. This also means we have to redo our game pack. So I'll do that now. I've only been streaming for a little over an hour, but I'm still feeling a little under the weather, so I might just call it early for the sake of getting some rest. Also, let me get some Tylenol real quick. Okay. Alright, so... performing the reward animation. We should have a phase called rewarded, which will strictly number as 3, which is going to keep the treasure box open the whole time. And... I should say something like, the pirate captain rewards you handsomely. Rewards you handsomely. We'll make that display for probably 10 seconds. And this is when the item will drop. So at this point we will spawn... not spawn monster. I think we have to use item here. So item... spawn? Or create item? No. Item drop? Include... item... drop... spawn item. Okay. This is presumably an item name. Wait, what? Is this not an item name? What is all this? I just want to spawn an item. Dang. I guess I have to get the item info from the item info table. So that is... include... item info? No, item data. That might be what I need. Includes item info and mapped to strings. So I can say item data at... and then we specify the item we want to bring. So we're going to spawn in all the items that are specified from the configuration file under the reward items configuration key. The configuration key is reward items. I'm just going to annotate that there. And it is a string array, so we're going to iterate through it. I think it's just going to be like this. I could be wrong. Item in config string array. And that being reward items. Oh, it's going to get it per index. So we need the amount of items inside there. So we want to just get the... So if we wanted to know the count, we'd have to get the specific parameter from the config file and go from there. Like, we'd have to actually do a config, grab it, and then look at that item. Because this is just a generic config grab. So we can get the value count here. That's gonna be how many items there are. So in this case, we would use a standard ranges iota view. Iterate from 0 to the index provided by getValueCount. This should be cast to a size t to match this one. And then it's just going to be a number. So int index. And then item at. So we do config string array of reward items. at index index. And finally, we specify the position we want to spawn it at, which should be our position, and whether or not we're on upper ground. Also, we have to cast it to a const pointer, because I guess this doesn't return, it returns a reference instead of a const pointer. I feel like at should return a... maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, casting it, const casting, I guess, is the way to go. And returning the reference to it, it's kind of weird, right? But yeah, let's const cast it to item info, or const item info. Sorry, item info pointer. Oh, it wants to be a, sorry, this is a temporary, so we need to actually pull it out first. So it's gonna look like this. Your const item info pointer is going to be a reference to whatever we pull from here. And then now we should be able to const cast it. I think. Is that right? Hold on. Maybe we const cast it after the fact. So here we just have our string. We just do item data at as in a pointer. So that should be fine. And then after this we can const cast it ourselves. Because right now, if we try const cast it, it won't let us. No, it seems happy with that. Okay. Item info. Did I just const cast the wrong thing? I think I did. I think I const casted the string array like an idiot. So, const cast, please? Like, there's no reason I should have to use that other syntax. Not that it really saves much typing when I can just do this, right? Yeah. I don't need that. Which puts us back here, which is what I originally intended. And these are for monster. It's just this static class is inside of the monster strategy class, so it has access to all the monster parameters, even though it's not a monster. And then once it's done here, it goes to the rewarded phase, so it doesn't do this again. And then we're pretty much done. So as a final bit, the ghost of the pirate captain will float over to it when it dies. So what we're going to do is in the final... hi there, Kaku. The background for... oh, this is a Visual Studio, by the way, not Visual Studio Code. Although I do know how to do in VS Code 2. Are you more interested in that? Because I have the same setup, but in VS Code as well. So I can show you that if you want. But yeah, we have a death strategy function that we're going to set. Oh, okay, so Visual Studio. If I go under my extensions, I have one called IDE Wallpaper. It was made in 2023 by a user named Jotting. And when you install it, there are a bunch of settings you can look at. And the settings let you set up, if I can go to the right one, IDE Wallpaper. You can choose for it to rotate between a folder, or you can have it do a single file. You can just have it match your desktop background, and you can choose how visible you want it, how often you want to change, etc. It's really that simple. I am using Visual Studio 2022, so I know 2026 came out recently. I can't guarantee it will work in that. I haven't migrated over yet, so I'm uncertain. But IDE Wallpaper is an extension you can get to just have backgrounds displayed while you're coding. You're welcome. Glad I could help. Okay, so event I don't think we need that monster. That will be important, and I think this is the monster strategy. Strategy name. Strategy name. I really can't type right now. And according to this, it says this function should return false to indicate the event is over. If the event should keep running, return true. So the death function we want to keep running the entire time, like we'll keep the monster alive, so naturally we want to keep running it, and we'll run move towards or run towards, and we'll choose the target to be the pirate's treasure location. I am not using Unreal Engine. I am using a custom library called the OLC Pixel Game Engine, meant for like more retro style pixel games. It's great to quickly dive into making stuff appear on screen, and it fits in with my development, which is the current flavor of the month for me is C++, so it fits for me. Alright, so we need elapsed time, which requires us to do that. We're gonna keep returning true. Yeah. So it's not really a game engine despite the name of it. It's more like a library, just a lot of functions to draw pixels on the screen, and as long as you can draw stuff on the screen, you could technically make the whole game. You have to build all the systems for it, of course. It's kind of like one of those things where devs try and like build their own engine kind of deal, right? It's a little more, you have to be a little more adventurous, and it takes a lot more time, but the end result is that you get a lot more control over your game engine when you do build it. Alright. So we are moving towards the Pirate Captain's treasure location, which I think we've already obtained earlier. Let me see. So we should be able to just copy code because we've already determined where the treasure was located earlier. Switch to current document. Okay, so yes, this will filter and find monsters that have the name Pirate's Treasure, and that's what we're interested in. And then we will set the target to be the position of that particular monster. So we have to be careful here because M currently means whatever monster we're grabbing from our list, which ends up being the Pirate's Treasure. So we have to set our target, our monster, to the target of this monster, which means I probably need to change this to be treasure as to avoid confusion, and then say m.target equals the treasure's position. Okay, so it's gonna be floating towards that. It moves kind of slow, so I think this is fine. I don't expect that to be a problem. And then I think that's it. That will do what we want. We end up getting a treasure from it. The treasure locks out, and we will be at the finish ring, which means we can leave after. Because the finish ring spawns at the Pirate's Treasure, surprisingly enough. I'm not sure why. I should probably figure that out real quick. So, yes, we want to figure that out because total boss encounter mobs. Let's see. Okay, where do we call reduce boss encounter mobs? There's got to be a place where we use this because it ultimately determines if the fight ends or not. Right here. Okay, so exit ring. How do we determine this? So it's determined by the position of the thing that died. Now, fascinatingly, the Pirate's Treasure is the one that gets the ring, so how does that work? I guess... No, I don't think the Pirate's Treasure is considered the boss, but let me check. I could be wrong. I want to say it's not. So, here, boss title display is the Ghost of Pirate Captain, which spawns this and the Pirate's Treasure at the same time. Are they both considered bosses then? How does that work? Because the Pirate's Treasure is not a boss. Let's see. That makes me wonder, does the game consider there to be two bosses in here? Now I'm curious. If is boss spawn, which is determined by spawn monster, which comes from... level spawners are... on player move? Here we go. On player move, we set it to triggered, and then spawn monster. If boss name display is not equal to blank, set the boss name display. So are there two bosses in this? That's the real question, right? It's like, Because yes, now the boss name display is not equal to blank, so that must mean we have two bosses? I guess we're gonna debug this and find out now, because that's fascinating. Because I was thinking originally, oh, how did it determine that the exit ring was going to spawn first? Is it just, or on the Pirate's Treasure, is it because we put this one in first? But no, we actually put in the Ghost of Pirate Captain first, so it's whichever one spawns later. But why is it the one that spawns later? That doesn't really make sense. It's not even considered a boss. All these questions, and it doesn't make any sense. Also, there was a random period here, so it was complaining about syntax. So, yeah, I'm just curious what is going on there. It's a bit concerning. Another syntax error? Oh, yeah, that shouldn't be there either. I must have deleted something. I must have deleted something and then left a symbol there. Yes. Okay. So, let's take a look and see if there are actually two bosses in this fight. According to the code, it makes any object that spawns in from a spawner with a boss title display, a boss. So, according to that, we have two bosses, which is fascinating and not intended at all. Okay, so I presume once I spawn the boss in, we should be able to check that value. So I will just breakpoint that ++, because that's what's being added. Right here, the set triggered function. Just gonna move to the left. Is my controller disconnected? Yes. Okay. Move left. Okay, so we triggered the spawn, which means if I go in here, we're gonna spawn two monsters because there's two to spawn. Now, the question becomes, does this trigger twice? So here's one for the Pirate Captain. Yes, the Ghost of Pirate Captain. And yes, we're in here a second time for the Pirate's Treasure. So they're both considered bosses. Apparently destroying one boss does not... or spawns the ring, even if there's still another boss present. So is that a bug? If we make a fight where there's multiple bosses, then ideally, we want all the bosses killed before the fight is considered done, right? That makes the most sense. So why is it like that? So let's see if we can fix that. So where was that find I had earlier? It was finding... Oh, we're trying to find where respawn boss mob or reduce boss encounter mob count was getting called. So I'm gonna put this down here, that's more useful. Oh, it's a monster. Okay. So if boss encounter mob count is equal to 0, so let's see here. So if on death, if this is a boss, reduce boss on counter mob count. Okay. Does on death call repeatedly? I doubt it, right? That doesn't make sense. It should only call once. Otherwise, everything would break, including this Steam kill unlock, which I know is a sane number, so I know that's not happening. But let me see. Also, I'll be right back. Hi all. I am back, and got about an hour left to work on some coding stuff for the day. So still messing about with this Ghost of... So this is an interesting bug that I don't think really popped up until we decided we wanted to try testing it, so that's kind of fascinating. So we do end up with 2 bosses. Like, it counts as 2 bosses. So the question is, why does the exit ring now spawn when we kill just 1, right? So what I'm going to do is we're going to breakpoint the on death function, because we now know there are 2 bosses, at least 2 bosses considered in this fight, which means that when we kill 1, technically the fight is not supposed to be over. So we either have a logic error or something unexpected that we did not account for in the first place. So let's see what happens. Also, I'm running in debug mode, so it might look a little choppy, but that's just how it is. Okay. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, we're going on death for the coin. Well, the coin's not a boss, right? So I hope the coin's not a boss. Okay. So yes, the coin being spawned in is not a boss. Let me go return it. Find our little boss. Oh, I already hit him without returning. Okay, anyway. Oh. Okay, so I think this is when I killed the boss. So it's going to reduce the boss mob and counter count. So we should expect that after this, it becomes 1. So it's 2 right now. Now it's 1. So we're good there. Then we're going to say, if it's equal to 0. So this should not return... Oh, hold on. Did I do something? Hold on. Oops. Anyway, yeah, it returns the total count, which is going to be... We look at our watches, or our autos. It will return 1, so that's correct. So it's not equal to 0. So we skip and increase the kill count during unlock, which is fine. That's normal. Do all that. It does have a strategy death function, so it begins running that. So we have confirmed that there's still 1 boss left. And if there's 1 boss left, that means the spawn ring should not appear. In theory. So how does the spawn ring appear now? Okay, so the spawn ring would appear right here, which hasn't occurred yet, right? So... like, we're done. Boss is dead. And it looks like it's just doing that. So now my question is, did I accidentally cause this thing to spawn just by accident? Like, what? How did that happen? I'm so confused. Also, we have to reset the collision radius for this thing. This is gonna be too big to get close enough. Okay. Also, maybe we don't need this? I'm not sure. This only should happen once, so... I don't know, that's iffy. It's like, okay, if the boss is dead, we can just say, like, a waiting phase. We have a waiting and a rewarded phase. I think that makes more sense. Goodness. So once we know the boss is dead, we go to the waiting phase. Quickly go there. Set the collision radius back to what it was before, so that the player can get close enough to actually open and trigger the box. And now we're just waiting because we already confirmed the boss is dead. So all we have to do here is, once the player gets close enough, spawn the items that are in the chest, and then that's it. Okay. As for why the spawn ring spawned the first time, maybe a release build bug? Because we're not running in release build now, so this doesn't happen now. So maybe in release build something got optimized and this got messed up? It's hard to say. But now that we've handled this correctly, I think it makes sense to go back to try all of this again. So with the spawn ring not spawning, I think we wanted to spawn right here. Or, yes, right here. So, I guess we could copy this code. Or technically we could kill this monster. Like, would that work? Call the death function. Trying to think here. Is there a kill function? I'd be surprised if there was. But obviously we could just hurt the monster for its total health. Hurt. Damage info. I don't know what this contains. It's a struct. There's a target pointer. Oh, you know what? We shouldn't have to use this one. That's just for internal stuff. Here we go. So damage. We just deal however much health the treasure has, right? Which will kill it. And we'll make it be true damage. That way it just dies. No matter what. It's not going to have any buffs or anything, but you never know. Just be as thorough as we can here. Making it a... I thought I had true damage here. It's kind of weird. I mean, no damage number is fine. I was just hoping for a true damage. Maybe it's underscore hurt? Oh wait, no, I think it's deal true damage. There it is. Damage amount and any flags. Yeah. That way we can make sure it just dies. It's not affected by any, like, defensive abilities or invulnerabilities or anything at all. So then when it dies, the fight's done. The pirate itself will float over. I notice we need to set its animation though, so we will do that. So run towards, but set the animation to be the death animation, which I think we can just say perform death animation. I guess not. Okay. Jesus. I kind of hate how the run... I'm just making sure it's called death. It is. I kind of hate how the run towards actually causes an animation change. I don't know if I can disable that. It just comes with the suite. Perform animation. Okay, so there are 2 perform animations in here. But they don't actually do what I expected, so I don't know if it's because of something else. Maybe it's because of the state. That might do it. Like, what actually uses this? It's a little confusing, but I think I can make it so this doesn't really get affected. I think this is animation state stuff, though. No, it looks like monster states that just are all grouped together. Or even player states, from the looks of it. It's like, huh. Yeah, this is all player state stuff. I'm just interested in the monster state stuff. But apparently monsters use this too. There must be something that actually reads this and adjusts the animation or something. Set state, move towards state. But no, nothing that's actually changing the animation. At least not by default. Ignore default. Oh, we have a boolean to say ignore default animations. Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I want. So if we set to true, it won't trigger animations, which is what we want. Alright, so we're gonna try this again and see how that goes. So the way this is gonna work is we defeat the boss. The pirate captain, Ghost of Pirate Captain dies, and then after the Ghost of Pirate Captain dies, it floats over to the pirate's treasure. And if you go over to the pirate's treasure, it will open up and give you the final boss item that your reward. And once you get the reward, you get to leave with your item. Because the exit ring ends up at the pirate's treasure because it's the second one to die. We also have to make the ghost sabers despawn, so yeah. Hi there. Eamon, welcome. God, I am dying today. So this is the release build, which hopefully there's no more bug that's gonna end up like that. Yeah, long time no see. It's been a minute. Oh yeah, I forgot when it hits you, it stops for a minute. But yeah, I am just recovering from sickness, so unfortunately I have the sniffles and all the grossness that comes with it, so I apologize. But I did have enough willpower to want to code today. Yesterday was the worst of it. God. I just hate sickness. Like, please just get it over with. But yeah, just testing out the final boss of Chapter 3. We've been kind of debugging it all day long, making the fight more balanced and fixing some things. I decided to add a little bit of fun things to the end, so to make it a little more unique. So just game dev stuff. Okay. Still have to remove that coin. So this is locked now? Yeah, it's locked. Oh. Oh, it died. Okay. Good. I still have to remove the sabers, right? So this didn't change. Don't know why. I guess it's not detecting that it's dead. Like, the question is, are we in here? I don't think we're in here. I don't even know where we are. This isn't triggering at all. Oh, there we go. So what phase? Okay, we're unlocked. Is boss dead? So is boss dead is false because another monster is alive. Okay. So we have to specifically check for Ghost of Pirate Captain's name, specifically. Otherwise, it's gonna keep doing it for everything. I think my pin just fell out. My hair clip. Oh gosh. So... we need to check for the name of this specific monster and only this monster. So, return monster is boss, and monster... Now that we know they're both considered bosses, right? We have to make sure this monster's name... So get a display name, I think is what we want, is equal to this string. And note that we are hard-coding it, but that's on purpose. I don't expect the Ghost of Pirate Captain to change its name anytime soon. I think that's all we have to do to fix this. And it should be good. And then we also need to remove the Ghost Sabers when we're the boss fight finishes. God, excuse me again. I guess we'll need the bullet list, and we'll clear out any Ghost Sabers. I am just dying out here. So, I assume these are pointers. They are indeed pointers. So, because they're unique pointers, we'll get references to them. Light bullet in bullet list, and we're just looking for the type. Anything that's Ghost Saber is going to disappear, or more specifically, anything that's a monster bullet type. I think, like, we're looking for anything not friendly, so we could actually filter that out. We can just say standard views filter. And we'll filter it by any bullets that are considered non-friendly. So, friendly. Not friendly means it's a monster bullet. So we will remove it from the list. Or mark it as dead, I should say. Missed something. One more. And then down here... Oh. Something's not right. Okay. I think if we set its lifetime to 0, we kill it. Or we can deactivate the bullet, I think. But I think if we set the lifetime to 0, it just dies. Yeah. So that's that. Okay. Let's give it another shot. Now the Ghost Sabers should actually disappear when the fight ends. And if this works out great, then we can finally commit the fight and the boss fight will be done. Oh, my mouse cursor is chilling over health potions, I guess. I wonder if that should be a thing, like... If I'm moving around with the controller... Oh, it does do that. Good to know. I'm like, if I'm moving around with the controller, I don't think the mouse over pop-ups should be happening. Just saying. We still have to do the coin thing. I keep forgetting, and I keep saying it, so we will do the coin thing after this. Coin, coin, coin. Coin, 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 coin. Don't forget the coin. Oh, I still have to give the coin back. I have the coin. Okay. Okay, so let's see what happens when he dies. Here we go. Oh my... Oh no. Stop. No, game. No. It's over. Oh no. Yeah, there we go. We have all the Captain's Diamond Rings in the world that you could ever, possibly, ever want. Yep. Ever. Isn't that wonderful? God. Oh my god. Jesus. That's great. I love it. Well, that's a stress test and a half if I've ever seen one. Well, this character now has 4 bajillion rings. I don't even know if the save file is gonna save anymore. It might be broken. I'll be for real. I think right now it has to clear, like, the entire item list. Let me see. Yeah, we have like 770 megs of memory used. Oh wow, it did it. It just took so long. And then every time I open this file, it's gonna have to load all that memory, that data. So it's like, goodness. I'm gonna have to go through and delete like a bunch of them. Or I can disassemble a million of them. But god, that would take a while. Let me see. Can we do that real quick? I want to see if I can just have a giant test pool of fragments. That'd be great. Okay. Disassemble, right? So you can just start here. Oh, it goes back to the top of the list each time? Why? That's not cool. Wait, does this work? No. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna take forever. I'm just gonna get rid of some. God. Jesus. Alright. Go to saves. Let me just clear out... Is it not save 0? I feel like there should be more than this, but I could be wrong. Okay, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought. There's only a couple hundred. I mean, that's still a lot of items, but... I guess... Like, it's still a lot. I'm just gonna do this. Okay. So... Unfortunately, that means... Oh, excuse me. God. I wonder if my game is broken now. My character. Because it's not gonna load, like... Oh, I guess it's fine. It doesn't care what the actual slot number is, it will still load them. So I still have a bunch, just not a billion. Although if I'm being for real using that disassemble menu, I expect that I should be able to just hit disassemble, 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 like it keeps selecting the next item and going from there, right? Like that would make sense, but... Maybe. It's hard to say how I wanted that behavior to work. Okay, so... Lessons learned. Be careful. So what went wrong is the question. I didn't set phase 2 rewarded, did I? Okay, yes. Set phase 2 rewarded. That'd be great. This all is supposed to only happen if we're in distance, by the way. So it says the Ghost Pirate Captain rewards you handsomely. Checks if the distance is less than or equal to the open distance. Then sets the phase 2 rewarded after spawning the item. Only one item, not a bunch. And going from there. An infinite loop like that that just keeps spawning things though is fun to stress test. See how far we can take things, right? It's funny, but not something that needs to actually happen. Thank you. Okay. Do this again. I don't have mana potions. Should I use another ring? Will it make my stuff faster? It does have cooldown reduction. The cooldown reduction is not very useful without mana, though. Well, it's only useful, yeah, if my mana regen's good. But if, like, I can only spam rapid and multi, Like, really, I only want to spam rapid and multi, so if my mana refills completely before I can use both, then it makes sense to do that. It looks like I get back the mana I need for these, so CDR would be a good idea to spam those abilities. That will increase my damage output. So let's try that and see how it goes. I don't know if I keep Lethal Tempo. I think that's technically more damage. Is anything here triple maxed? Looks like 7, 16, and 3% is what I'm looking for. Oh, there it is. There's a maxed one. Let's lock that one. Let me see if I can find one more. It's entirely possible we get 2, but it's rare. I think 2 lines is the best we're gonna get. So that gives me 21% cooldown reduction, which is pretty massive. It means my abilities are 20% faster, 4/5 the normal speed. The cooldowns are, that is. So you can see the numbers actually go down faster than normal. So that's good. So yeah, my DPS goes up with that. Like I said, Lethal Tempo is technically better if I didn't have, like, that much CDR, but I do, so it works out to a little higher DPS. Just a little bit. I think I can even throw in charge shots sometimes. No, it looks like I'm gonna run out of mana if I do that, so maybe not. It looks like I have just enough mana to keep spamming them, although it looks like I'm actually gonna start running short. But it's still 400 DPS, which is pretty high, all things considered. Where is the boss? Boss is around here, maybe? Yes. Okay. Coin, coin, coin. Can't forget about the coin stuff, right? Ouch. Cool. Oh, we have to get rid of the curse too. Dun dun dun! Yay, perfect! Works great. Yay! Why is my controller vibrating? Ah! I don't know why that happens, but yes. Okay, that works beautifully. So let's go ahead and save. And get rid of the coin toss for the final. Okay, so okay, we need to figure out if we're on the last curse threshold or not. So we'll do something similar here. We'll just say if on last curse phase to determine if we go to toss coin or not. If we don't go to toss coin, all we have to do is hide. Or no, actually we can just set the toss coin wait timer to 0, right? Let's see. Let me think. It's like, do we even have to... Okay, because this spawns a coin. We don't actually spawn a coin. So does this... Is this a visual effect? Because I'm starting to think it is. It's like a visual effect that appears on screen for this coin. Toss coin target. I wonder what causes it to even display in the first place. It's like, yes, we have a coin, but how is it even appearing, to be honest? Oh, this effect. Flip coin effect. Right. So if we don't do that, then none of this will happen. If not on last curse phase, coin effect. Okay. That will take care of that with no extra side effects. And we should be good. I think that's everything. Cool. So, with all those changes in mind, we can finally do a last commit and build of the Ghost of Pirate Captain boss fight. And finally commit this branch to Master and have a boss fight officially complete. Which I think was one of our issues, that we can finally mark off one of our milestones. So that's good. Chapter 3 Pirate Boss completed. Okay, so this will resolve issue number 83. Fight tweaks, balancing, fixes, and reward adjustments. Fight is good to go mechanically. This is release build 12364, and we'll go ahead and commit this now. And before I submit it, I'm going to run unit testing on it, just to make sure that we're okay. Unit testing, and it's gonna do the script and build test on my Git, so that will run as well. So let's get out the test explorer. Oh, it's kind of already started? I did not expect it to start doing this. Hello? When did I start this? Okay. Well, it's running the test now, so I don't know if this is a good thing or not. I'm going to stop it and restart it. Yeah, because like it has to rebuild some stuff. I've made changes. I want to make sure everything works. And if that's good, we can submit. But a good coding session today. Next up on the list is all the other Chapter 4 monsters. And then we get to start on Chapter 4 bosses. We get to write more boss fights. The next bonus boss fight is going to be really interesting. I won't spoil it yet, but it's going to be kind of fun to write because it has a very unique mechanic. A mechanic that we haven't really implemented yet, at least for monsters. So that's your hint. Once all these unit tests pass, which I hope they all pass, then we'll consider this good to go. In the meantime, I will be right back. Alright. Looks like we are a little more than halfway done with the unit tests. So far everything has been passing, so that's good. Let's see if this is built. Look at all these things I've been doing for it. Like, damn. There was a lot that needed fixing from the initial branch. It's been a long time coming, but yeah. I mean, boss fights are pretty involved, so it's expected that quite a lot of, like, code changes happen, or occur because of it. I'm glad the monster scripting system is as flexible as it is. That was done on purpose, just to make it easier for us to really implement fights exactly the way we want to. Hi again, Plasticky. We're just about done here. Just waiting for tests to pass and merges to happen. We're pretty much good to go. Looks like this just finished. Yep. So we are merged successfully. Finally, this boss fight is done. Yay! Alright. And with that out of the way, we can finally close this issue. Made 6 months ago. So you can tell that's been, neglected. But yeah. The next thing to work on are the Chapter 4 monster behaviors. So, that's what we're starting on next. Still a lot to do, of course, but piece by piece, little by little, that's how you complete large projects. I'm just waiting to make sure these final unit tests succeed, and then we'll call it here for today. Good amount of coding progress. Good amount of bug fixes and whatnot. I hope everybody that tuned in today enjoyed the coding session. it's kind of chill to just work on a larger code base where it's not like, oh, I just have to run or put out feature after feature after feature, like engine feature. It's like the engine is basically built at this point, and what we're working on now is all the content for the game. We're adding the monsters, we're adding new items, adding new weapons, equipment, adding new NPCs, shopkeepers, stories. Like, we're at the point where there's almost no new mechanics to implement. Now, there is a new feature to add in Chapter 5, I believe. So there is one more brand new mechanic we're gonna add. Oh, this. Yes. It's called the Arena. It's one of the final progression systems of the game, and that is gonna have some very special rules to it. Although it still uses a lot of the same system mechanics, just it has its own special name and special systems, so it'll be fun to implement that, and then we'll go from there. The game is coming along nicely, though. Like, this isn't bad for, what, 2 weeks of progress, I think? Has it been 2 weeks? Yeah, it's been 2 weeks since I really started working on the game again. You can see the last few commits were 4 months ago. And now we're in a good cycle right now. We're in a good schedule where we're constantly putting out more stuff again. So, game's back on track, in my opinion, and we're making good progress. I really can see this game being done by the end of the year. Hopefully even way before that. Like, we can get all the game finished, get all the final artwork in, get any fixes to the music systems, do some more sound effects, finish the story, of course, and we'll have a project up and ready to go. So I'm excited. I am super duper excited to finish this project. Alright, so every unit test has passed successfully. So that means we haven't broken anything. Hooray! And Ghost of Pirate Captain is now complete. So next time we're working on Chapter 4 monster stuff. We got a lot of Chapter 4 monsters to do, so we're gonna do that next. But for now, for those of you that tuned in, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time. Bye!